And now, Mike's thoughts.
Man Hour Nation, you can love the halftime shows all you want. You can rant and rave about how great the halftime show all you want. But the truth of the matter is we have been lied to. That's right, we have been lied to day after day after day since the Super Bowl has started. But now, the truth has come out. We have been led to believe that this was the highest viewed halftime show ever in Super Bowl history. We had come to believe that this is the highest viewed Super Bowl in Super Bowl history. But the numbers do not back that up, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers show that there was a 50% drop-off when the halftime show started. There was about 49.3 million people watching the NFL Super Bowl, and then halftime hit, and 20 million of those people turned off. There was only 20.3 million people that actually watched the Super Bowl halftime. And then you see the TikToks, you see this and see this. You see that the people in Israel are going like, what the hell is going on with our lives right now? Matter of fact, I said it during the halftime that I didn't see one person dancing. I didn't see one person singing or clapping. It was all pumped in noise, making it feel like people were enjoying it and loving it. The truth of the matter is that the NFL failed. The truth of the matter is that Jay-Z failed. The truth of the matter is that nobody understood what Bad Bunny was saying. Nobody understood the context. And matter of fact, I posted lyrics on our Facebook page, and let's just say the NBC let a lot of vulgar words go across the airways because they didn't know what was going on. The truth of the matter is, this is not a left side thing or a right side thing. This is a common sense thing. The common sense thing is NFL is American sport. The common sense thing is that we are tired of the international games. The common sense thing is bringing not even American artists, somebody that speaks English to a halftime show. Then viewership wouldn't drop off. 20 million people tuned out. Understand that. Turning Point USA had over 6 million people actively tune into YouTube to watch an alternative halftime show. That tells you everything that you need to know. Right there. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation.
Yeah.
Rise up.
Yeah. Hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah. From the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Guys, welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. I'm so glad you with us today, guys. Before we jump into today's action, head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you find all the exclusive merchandise, the freshest blogs, and everything that's happening with the Man Hour show. So, you guys, you're rocking the Man Hour. That's the spot to rep it. But also, now we have our live stream schedule up there on as well. So, if you're like, man, is Buck going to be live tonight? Normally, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time. However, we are still at the end of basketball season, and sometimes I'm going to miss a show here, going to miss a show there, so it is all over there at manhourradio.com, where we're going to have a show and when we're not going to have a show. So, guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, of course, subscribe as well, so you never miss a live interactive show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged into us. But if you want the full Man Hour experience, guys, become a Pick Sim Pundit. That is our members-only community where you get free entry to the weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and bonus live stream that only the Pick Sim Pundits get. So if you want to know about the next level access, guys, join the squad today. And remember, this is an interactive show, so drop your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments down below. I want to hear from you. And right now, it looks like the comments are not 100% working coming over to my side of things. So I'll be flipping back and forth and looking at your comments. So, guys, bear with us as sometimes things, just technology sucks at the end of the day. Let's just say what it is. Technology sucks. And it looks like there is an update on my old chatbot thing. So I need to go in there and fix that. But, guys, we got some NFL talk to talk about. We got some NFL stuff to talk about. The Seattle Seahawks had their parades. They all had their shirts with the middle fingers up. They had their shirts saying F everybody. And you know what? They even had the balls. Yes, I'm going to say it. They had the balls to say, let's run it back. I say, slow it down, baby. I say, slow it down, baby. Because the confetti just finally fell. The confetti, the parade, the beers, and the Seattle Seahawks are officially Super Bowl 60 champions. Sam Darnold standing there at Lumen Field, a beer in one hand, the Lombardi trophy in their hand, thanking his parents, thanking the fans, thanking the organization for believing in him when most of the football world didn't. And listen, I get it. It was a cool moment. It was genuine. It was earned. Sam Darnold talked about belief and how the outside noise didn't matter because the people closest to him believed. Owner Judy Allen, general manager John Snyder, coach Mike McDonald, his teammates, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's powerful stuff. But now that the parade music is fading, now we need to have a real football conversation. Because I'm going to say something that a lot of people do not want to hear. Guys, simply put, the Seahawks overachieved most of the season. And before Seattle fans jump in the chat, swing in their helmets, relax, slow it down, baby. Because I got to give credit where credit is due. Let's start off right there at the top. This defense, absolute top dogs. No debate, no qualifiers. They carried this team. They dictated games. They suffocated offense. And in the Super Bowl, they straight up wrecked the Patriots. You cannot take that away from them. Mike McDonald built a monster on that side of the ball, and it showed up when it mattered most. The Super Bowl, the playoffs, the 14 games they won this season. But let's talk about the part that everyone suddenly wants to rewrite. Sam Darnold. Yes, he had a great postseason. Yes, he had 0 interceptions and the playoffs. Yes, he delivered an NFC Championship game versus the LA Rams. 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, big time performance. I give him that. You got to give credit where credit is due. But I still cannot trust him. Why? Because over the full NFL season, Sam Darnold threw 14 interceptions. 14. That is third most in the entire league, just behind Geno Smith and Bo Nix. And let's just be honest here, both of those are not the gold standard of elite quarterback play. So while everyone is bathing Sam Darnold in redemption confetti, I'm sitting here asking, are we ignoring the full picture? Because without the running attack that they had, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker III, without that ferocious defense, Seattle is not holding a Lombardi trophy. Matter of fact, Seattle's not even a playoff team. Sam Darnold did not carry this team. He managed it. He survived it. He avoided disaster when it mattered most. That's not hate. It's the truth, and that's context. And if the Seahawks truly want to run this thing back, if they truly want to go back-to-back champions, if they want to avoid becoming the long list of champions that couldn't repeat, I'm going to say something bold here right now. It's Jalen Milroe time in Seattle, baby. Let me say that again. It's Jalen Milroe time in LA or Seattle, baby. Inject the youth, inject the upside, inject the dynamic element into this offense that still doesn't have it. Because defense wins championships, yes, but quarterbacks decide dynasties. And if you want to repeat, insert Jalen Milroe, because Sam Darnold is not going to repeat for you. Sam Darnold is not going to run it back for you. Sam Darnold is not the man, the myth, the legend that y'all are putting up on this pedestal. But Man Hour Nation, let me ask you this question. Did Sam Darnold prove he's the long-term answer, or did Seattle win despite their quarterback, not because of him? Guys, let's get into the comments to discuss your pots and your opinions on this. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com/Man Hour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below and let's talk some football. Ba-da-ba-dum. My bad. Next topic. New England Patriots. New England Patriots. Bring that ass here, boy. Because after the Super Bowl loss, the noise got loud real quick in New England. And at the center of all of it was Will Campbell. The 4th overall pick, the rookie left tackle, the guy that everybody suddenly wanted to move somewhere else, guard, center, anywhere but left tackle. And Mike Vrabel shut that conversation down immediately. Will Campbell staying at left tackle, period, says Mike Vrabel. But guys, let's just be honest why this conversation even came up. Let's be honest about what we all watched on Sunday during Super Bowl City. Let's just be honest about how bad Will Campbell actually is at left tackle. Guys, the New England Patriots lost 29-13 to the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60. And Campbell had a rough night. Missed blocks, pressures, moments where the speed and physicality overwhelmed him. It was flat out honest. So social media did what social media always does. They panicked. They overreacted. They wanted position switch. They wanted this. They wanted, before the confetti hit the ground, get Will Campbell out of town. And remember, coming out of LSU, some teams already projected Will Campbell as a guard. So that takes already ready to have fire. Now, Mike Vrabel did not dodge it. He leaned into it. He compared playing left tackle to being a quarterback, a corner, or even a head coach. You are exposed. Every mistake is magnified. Every rep is on tape. He reminded everybody that Will Campbell was just 22 years old, a rookie playing the most unforgiving position on the offensive line against elite competition. And then he made it very crystal clear. We are not moving him. We're not moving him to center. We're not moving him to guard. Not anywhere. He's staying at the left tackle. That's an investment. And New England is sticking with it. Now, Will Campbell didn't talk after the Super Bowl. And some people ran with that too. But he owned it later on. He said he was emotional. He said he knew if he spoke in that moment, it wouldn't have came out right. So he took a breath, slept on it, watched the tape. Honestly, that's maturity. Then he dropped another detail that matters most of all. He tore a ligament in his knee back in November against the Cincinnati Bengals, played through it, finished the season, took his lumps, and he didn't deflect the reasonable ones. He didn't reflect the responsibility ones, I should say. Will Campbell said something that should resonate with anyone who's ever competed at the highest level. He said, when you're picked high and paid well, expectations come with it. He doesn't want pity. He doesn't want excuses. He wants experts to, he expects more from himself than anyone else ever does. That mindset, that's how players get better. But here's the truth. Left tackle is not a plug and play position. It takes reps. It takes strength. It takes timing. It takes losing, learning, and adjusting. Mike Vrabel knows that. The Patriots know that. And moving a 22-year-old rookie after one bad night on the biggest stage would be an organizational malpractice. This franchise has made its choice. Now it's about development. No doubt about it. However, the question has got to be rose and rose and rose again. If he truly hurt his knee back in November, wouldn't we have heard about it? Shouldn't have been on the injury report? Shouldn't have something have come up from that? But hey, I'm just a messenger boy. But man, our nation, let me ask you this question. Is Will Campbell the future at left tackle, or should the New England Patriots at least explore other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, or YouTube.com. Now, this is a live interactive show, guys, so comment down below and get your thoughts. Like I said, the comments are not coming up on my screen, so I got to flip back and forth. And said the Lord's Dispile 777. This is the same guy that said that Seattle said wasn't going to the Super Bowl. We're number 1 seed going into the playoffs. Lord's Disciple. Name me one person, just one, that said the Seattle Seahawks were not even going to have a winning season, but make it to the playoffs, be the number 1 overall seed, and win the Super Bowl. Give me one. I'm just asking. What's up, average American boy? I see you. I see he retracted his statement. Candace said, I'm sorry, but I can't believe this title. Do I need to go back and talk about this? Because, let me go back and talk about this. Let me go ahead and pop that back up there for your Seattle Seahawks fans. Let me go ahead and pop that up there for you because, let me be honest with you guys right now. The Seattle Seahawks are not going to repeat with Sam Darnold at quarterback. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. The Seattle Seahawks are not going to repeat with Sam Darnold at quarterback. It's Jalen Milroe time. The man had 14 interceptions, third most in the NFL, behind Geno Smith, but behind Bo Nix. Not the gold standard of quarterbacks, like I said earlier. It is what it is. Now, I'm not saying that the Seattle Seahawks suck. Their defense was by far the best defense we have seen since the 2000 Ravens. They're pretty damn good. Let's just be honest about it. I'm not saying that their receiving core is bad. JSN probably solidified himself as the best receiver in the entire NFL. Cooper Kupp, great complimentary piece. Shaneed was a great addition on the special teams. Right? And now I see you, Austin LeBron, 0 turnovers in the playoffs. Only time that has ever happened. And you are absolutely correct. You got to give credit where credit is due. Sam Darnold had a phenomenal postseason stat-wise. However, let's flash back to the first game that they played. They played the San Francisco 49ers, an injury-riddled team, a team that had no business being in the playoffs. Matter of fact, a team that had no business winning their first-round playoff game. I just want to put that out there. A team that had no business being on the same field as the Seattle Seahawks that particular game. Was it 41-9? Right, was the score? 41-9? Sam Darnold had to prove nothing in that game. His job was to hand the ball off to Kenneth Walker, hand the ball off to Charbonnet. Granted, they did lose. Did they lose Charbonnet that game, or was it a championship game? I think it was a championship game when they lost Charbonnet, right? But either way, he only had 170 yards in that first game. 0 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. He managed the game. Now, game number 2 versus the LA Rams. He did have to go out there and do his thing. He did have to go out there and throw for 346 yards and 3 tutties. Listen, as my dog, Old Man River says, which is a pigskin pun, get you some.
Pigskin pun, get you some.
He said, and I quote, "Sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while." And that's exactly what I did in Sam Darnold in that NFC Championship game. The sun shined on his ass, and woo, people were hooting, hollering. Matter of fact, I have a video out there saying, you know what? Maybe the big game blues are past, because my man Sam Darnold was compared to Kirk Cousins, primetime Kirk Cousins, a lot. He could never do his thing. Now, let's flash forward to the Super Bowl. He did not play good in that Super Bowl. What, like 160 yards passing? 0 touch. I think he had 1 passing touchdown, maybe 2, which didn't matter in the end. 0 interceptions, yes. However, it was a Kenneth Walker show yet again. Hand the ball off to Kenneth Walker. Let the defense eat. Be a game manager. Be honest with yourself, Seahawks fans. Right now, legitimately be honest with yourself right now. Would the Seattle Seahawks have been in the Super Bowl with Mac Jones? I think yes. Would the Seattle Seahawks been in the Super Bowl with Jordan Love? I would say yes. Would the Seattle Seahawks have been in the Super Bowl with Justin Fields? I would have said yes. Any quarterback in the entire NFL with that defense, with that receiving core, with that special teams would have done good things in Seattle, a.k.a. gone to the Super Bowl. Everything clicked with the Seattle Seahawks this season. Will it repeat? No. Not with Sam Darnold at the helm. Not with 14 interceptions. Third most in the NFL. Not going to happen. And Old Man River says it best. He says Sam Darnold a one-hit wonder. He had one really, really good game in the postseason. Yes, I will give you the 0 turnovers. Phenomenal. Yes, I will give you the 5 touchdowns. Phenomenal. Yes, I'll give you the Super Bowl ring. Phenomenal. But have to call a spade at the end of the game. Not going to repeat with Sam Darnold at the helm. Put the Alabama boy in, Jalen Milroe. Greg says Mahomes did not play good against the Eagles Super Bowl and last season. Plus the ACL's torn. I say Sam Darnold has a better chance at the Super Bowl than the Kansas City Chiefs. And I would have to disagree with that. Yes, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs played bad in Super Bowl 59. Yes, they did not pass the 50-yard line until the third quarter. After the game was Dell won and hand sealed and mailed back to King of England. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs played bad. However, Patrick Mahomes has proven time and time and time again that he is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. Now, you can go either way between him and Josh Allen. I'm not going to argue one way or the other. I think Josh Allen is just as good, just as effective as Patrick Mahomes. On the flip side of that, yes, the system helps the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, the system helps Patrick Mahomes. Yes, a great defense has led the Kansas City Chiefs to many, many Super Bowls. But to say Sam Darnold is better than Patrick Mahomes, you need to slow it down, baby. Because you put Patrick Mahomes on the Seattle Seahawks, 100% they're Super Bowl favorites next season. There is a reason that that Vegas betting odds does not have a Super Bowl favorite for next season yet. There's a reason that pretty much everybody's just like, wide open field. We don't do it with our hands, right? Because they don't trust Sam Darnold. If Patrick Mahomes was on the Seahawks, if Dak Prescott was on the Seahawks, if Jordan Love was on the Seahawks, Josh Allen, hell, you could put Joe Burrow on the Seahawks. Super Bowl favorites. 100% Super Bowl favorites. And then Greg says, of course you're going to disagree because you're a Chiefs fan. Just because I'm a Chiefs fan, that doesn't mean that I don't see football with a clear vision. I told Vikings fans this last year that the Vikings were a fool's gold. They were fugazi. That was the word of the year last year, fugazi. And when shit got a little bit tough in Minnesota, a.k.a. playing for the NFC North Championship, playing the first overall seed versus the Detroit Lions, Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings shit the bed. Playoffs came, neutral site, not even like at L.A. Delta ass. Now, obviously, Sam Darnold has grown from that. He has proven that he has the ability to play in big-time games and win big-time games. But I'm not going to expect him to win games all the time. I'm not going to expect him to be great. I'm not going to expect him to go back to back to back. Come on now, slow it down, baby. Greg says, plus the Broncos and the Chargers are the league now. How to beat the Chiefs. Know how to beat the Chiefs now. To be fair, the Chiefs did not play great last season. You want to keep going back to my Kansas City Chiefs? Whatever, cool. It is what it is. I love the hate. However, I did say last year that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to struggle. Now, I obviously did not anticipate them missing the playoffs. I did not anticipate our franchise quarterback going down. I did not anticipate everybody getting wore out by, like, I don't know, week 11, 12 is kind of when the train fell off the tracks. But to say that the dynasty's over after one bad year, even Tom Brady and the Patriots went through a bad season. Even the San Francisco 49ers went through a bad season. Even the Dallas Cowboys went through a bad season. It's all about how you rebound. So say the dynasty's over conversation for, let's say, next November. Next November, we will revisit that. We will have the trust tree right here. Studio C is still being built. Still got to repaint a little bit here still. We're going to have the trust tree. And we're going to have teams on the trust tree next season. And we're going to potentially put the Kansas City Chiefs on there or take them off. Seahawks put them on there, take them off. We'll see. We'll see how the trust tree goes. Gray says Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are like the third best in the league. Maybe even next season when they say way Bo Nix and Herbert's been playing. I don't understand why you're trying to throw shade at the Kansas City Chiefs when your Seattle Seahawks, Greg, I'm assuming you're a Seahawks fan, are not going to repeat with Sam Darnold at the helm. I'm telling you, if Sam Darnold is the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks in 2026, start of the NFL season, they are not going to go to the Super Bowl again. It is what it is. Austin says, 4th highest cap space in the league. One of the youngest teams in the NFL, meaning the Seattle Seahawks. And also one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Austin, you can say you're running it back to back. You can say all you want, but the facts are not with Sam Darnold. With Sam Darnold, you are not going to run it back to back. I'm just saying it's not going to happen. And then Greg says, exactly, the Chiefs dead red in cap space with the negative. How players Chiefs going to keep with up the offseason are going to lose players next March. And Greg, I spoke on this Tuesday night when we talked about the Dallas Cowboys being $29.2 million over the cap space. It was George Pickens contract looming and like all that stuff. Brett Beach, Howie Goodsman is that how you say his name? Howie, the GM in Philly, and Brad Holmes, the GM for the Detroit Lions, are the best 3 general managers in the entire NFL. Year after year after year, they start the league year over the cap. The Kansas City Chiefs last year, what, 28, 29, $30 million over the cap? They were way over the cap. Start of the season, they were $10 million under the cap. $30, $40 million swing at some point there. Why? Because Brett Veach is a damn good general manager. Howie for the Philadelphia Eagles. They were $22.2 million over the cap space at the start of league year last March. They got under, and they signed players. What? Because that's what great GMs do. The Detroit Lions, they're about to do the same thing with old David Montgomery, right? David Montgomery is going to be probably a cap casualty at the end of the day. It is what it is. And speaking of all this cap space that you have in Seattle, Kenneth Walker III was making $2.7 million this season. He's a free agent now. He's got his ring. You know what he wants to do now? He wants to make those dollar bills, yo. Charbonnet's coming back. I don't think he no longer wants to be the second fiddle. Come on, man. Like, you're going to have to pay a lot of people. Shaneed, am I saying that name right? Shaneed is going to want some dollar bills, yo. Kenneth Walker III is going to want some dollar bills, yo. Sam Darnold was on a 2-year deal. He's going to want some dollar bills, yo. JSN is going to want some dollar bills, yo. And you have to reinforce that defense as well. So unless you got to, unless John Snyder is a top 5 general manager in the entire NFL, you're going to have some cap casualties. Cap casualties. So don't start with that money. Don't start with we're going to run it back. You need to understand the reality that Sam Darnold is not the man, the myth, the legend that he is. You all need to slow down the hype train and understand they still had 14 interceptions this season. Only behind Bo Nix and Geno Smith. And oh, by the way, Geno Smith had what, 2 wins this season, John? Bo Nix, yes, did make it to the AFC Championship game. Did not play in the championship game, but you know what? Still, all led by great defenses. And John says, Raider Nation for life.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
My man, always got to bring the Las Vegas Raiders into the conversation. Now, I am going to go over to YouTube Shorts. I see a lot of comments over there as well. Average American Boys talking about Will Campbell. We are back to Sam Darnold now. BP in the OR, I'm saying BP in the Oregon, says, LOL, Darnold didn't have a good Super Bowl. Yes, he did. The Super Bowl was game against the LA Rams. And that's your problem right there. That is your problem right there. He had one good game, 346 yards in NFC Championship game. Yes, that was a championship game, sure, but it wasn't the Super Bowl. So let's say, for example, BP and OR, let's just say that Sam Darnold did have his game against LA Rams. which we cannot take that from him. 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a championship win. What happens if he pulled a Drake May in the Super Bowl? What happens if the Seattle Seahawks pulled a Drake May or the New England Patriots in general in the Super Bowl, had 79 total yards going into the fourth quarter? What if they did that? Would you still be, no, Sam Darnold's the man, the myth, the legend. Sam Darnold. No, you'd be on the same exact train that I am. Jalen Milroe is the future. Put him in. Derek, 4192 over here on the YouTube store says another Sam Darnold hater. Another coach quarterback. Do better. I am not a Sam Darnold hater. I'm a Sam Darnold realist. The real thing about Sam Darnold is that he underperforms in big games. Yes, this postseason he had one good game. Give credit where credit is due. The man had one good game in the postseason. Blowout win was 41-9, 41-6 versus San Francisco 49ers. He had to hand the ball off. All he had to do. And the Super Bowl, all he had to do was not turn the ball over. That's all he had to do. The defense was playing lights out. When your defense is playing like that, you look like a pretty damn good quarterback because you know what? You're like, oh, throw the ball away. Oh, hand it off to Kenneth Walker. I'm not a Sam Darnold hater. The only person that I hate in the NFL world is Joe Burrow. I think he's highly overrated. But that's a story for a different day. Derek. Now, Paravival 141 says, but they never missed the playoffs. Who are you talking about? Who never misses the playoffs? The 49ers? And Brian Orby 252 says the Seahawks will be in the game next season. Meaning the Super Bowl? No, they won't. Now, I'm not saying the Seahawks will be bad. I'm not saying the Seahawks are going to get last place in the NFC West. I'm not saying that the Seahawks are going to not make the playoffs. I'm not going to say that the Seahawks will have a losing record. But I will say that they will not make it to another Super Bowl, run it back-to-back with Sam Darnold at the helm. That is what I'm saying. And Derek says this guy has never played football. He sat on his couch. Derek, that's a false statement. I played a lot of football in my life, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the eye test, Derek. Because when you see things and understand the football game and you can articulate that into what you're seeing, into understanding it, bada bing, bada boom, you know Sam Darnold's overrated. You know that he's not a very good quarterback. 14 interceptions this season proves that. When he tried to play hero ball, they lost. When the Seattle Seahawks defense got a little bit exposed, they lost. You're a Seahawks fan, Derek, I'm assuming. The truth of the matter is when the Seahawks asked Sam Darnold to be great, throw for 300 yards, throw some tutties, whatever. Yes, they did beat the LA Rams that particular game, but when he has to do it repetitively, he's not very good. He's a game manager at best, and that's all he will ever be. And Pervaz says, bros, get your facts straight. My facts are that Sam Darnold had 14 interceptions this season. Yes, he had 0 in the playoffs. Still had third most in the NFL. What facts am I wrong with? BP in the OR says, real issue with the Chiefs is their running game. 25th in the NFL last year. B for real. You are stuck on quarterback play when the solution is right in front of your face. I agree. I agree that the running game in Kansas City was very, very bad. A matter of fact, I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs' whole offense in general was not very good last season. Was that play calling? Was that Patrick Mahomes? Was it just fatigue? Was it wide receiver? Was it running game? It was all the above. Say what you want about my Kansas City Chiefs. But I can admit that they had a bad season. And I predicted they were going to have a bad season. Not a playoff missing season. Not a, we're sitting at 12th draft pick. Not that bad a season. But I predicted a letdown this season. Look at the stats, bro, says Austin. What stats would you like me to look at? Would you like me to look at the 179 passing yards in the Super Bowl or the 160 yards in the divisional round versus the 49ers? Or the 14 interceptions in the regular season? Or how about this, the 149-yard game versus the LA Rams earlier in the season? What stats do you want me to look at, Derek? Sorry, Austin. And Austin says, let me repeat. Let me clear my throat. 0 interceptions and the playoffs. And he says, you know what that shows? That he learns and he listens and he is growing. He does what he needs to do. Or, Austin, I will concur that he has improved since his days in New York and Carolina and then San Francisco. He has definitely improved. But you also, what else has improved? His defense, his supporting cast, his ability to F up and not get blown out. I understand he was the first quarterback ever to never turn the ball over in the playoffs, and that is something to be proud of. Very, very much so. Something very much so to be proud of. However, you can do that when you have a great defense. You can protect the ball when you have a great, great defense. Average American Boy sent 100 joules. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. And he says, I think the Chiefs should find a wide receiver or get a wide receiver who doesn't get in trouble. That's not going to happen. Average American Boy, you know that's not going to happen because we know damn well every receiver, matter of fact, every good receiver in the NFL has an ego. If you are a great receiver in the NFL, you're going to have an ego. Terrell Owens, Michael Irvin. I guess Jerry Rice didn't really have an ego that we've heard about, whatever. Antonio Brown, George Pickens. Any quarterback in the mainstream that's good is going to have an ego. Let's see here. BP in the OR says 4,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 67.7 completion rate versus 3,500 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 60.7 completion rate. Who are you referring to? Because the first one obviously looks like Sam Darnold because I believe he had 25 touchdowns along with 14 interceptions. What was the 22 touchdowns? I don't know who that is. The first one is Sam Darnold. The second one is Patrick Mahomes. There's your stats, my friend. Okay. So you're basing your stats off of 5 more games, right? So in 5 more games, Sam Darnold had 3 more interceptions and 3 more touchdowns and over 500 more yards, right? He just says 4,000 versus the 3,500, so over 500 more yards. Congratulations. I don't understand what you're trying to prove there. I don't understand the comprehension. I don't understand the comparison. Average American Boy says Rashid Rice is in trouble in the law with his ex. Yeah, he definitely choked a bitch. He definitely, right? And he was racing and then was drunk and drove away. Like, Rashid Rice has been not very good. I don't understand why the Chiefs can't find a receiver who won't have a overinflated ego. To be fair, Tyreek Hill did not have an overinflated ego until he left the Kansas City Chiefs. So, Austin says, well, they better start looking for a quarterback. Mahomes ain't coming back the same. To be fair, we don't know how Patrick Mahomes is going to come back. You are 100% correct. We don't know if the ACL is going to, because it was an ACL, LCL, right? Reports that we've heard he's going to be back by week 1. He could have played in the Pro Bowl if he wanted to. I was like, well, that's silly. I think week 1's silly, right? It's kind of pushing the limits. But Austin, you are correct. We don't know what Patrick Mahomes is going to be. That's a fair assessment. Should they draft a quarterback? I don't know. Should they look for depth at quarterback? 100%. Whether it's potentially making a trade with San Francisco for Mac Jones, whether it's looking at your Seattle Seahawks roster, that they have Jalen Milroe, Sam Darnold, and who was the backup? Oh, crap. Who was the backup in Seattle? Was it I'll have to look that up. I when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. But obviously Jalen Milroe was the third string. Drew Lock. Drew Lock is the name that I was thinking of. mean, yes, they're going to have to add some type of depth for the Kansas City Chiefs, meaning for some type of quarterback stability. Because the Gardner Minshew, I don't think he's very good. The backup that they had is a free agent now. Old UFL guy. But yeah. John People says he's not the first. Joe Montana did 0 turnovers in the Super Bowl era as well. There you go. Stat machine from Old Man River. Thank you for that. Greg says 8-9. Chiefs won't be in the playoffs. Maybe another 8-8 team and miss the playoffs. 8-9 team and make the playoffs. Only time will see. Only time will see. But guys, I am telling you right now that I do not think that the Seattle Seahawks are going to repeat. Matter of fact, I know the Seattle Seahawks will not repeat in 2026, 2027 NFL season. Not with Sam Darnold at the helm. Insert Jalen Milroe. Average American Boy says, I predict the Chiefs have a 10-7 record or 9-8 record. And then BP in the OR says, put some respect on Drew, the Philly killer lock. Listen, I low-key kind of liked Drew Lock. Now, obviously, I watched him sparingly as a Chiefs fan when he was a Denver Bronco, right? Went to Seattle. I've not seen him play in preseason. I don't think he played any games this season. But yes, I don't hate Drew Lock. I root for the underdog. I root for him, and he would be a great fit in Kansas City. I like a lot, I think. And Average American Boy says, respect for Drew Lock. Man, you guys got fired up about the old Seahawks not repeating. I wish the chat was working today, so I had to scroll through all this crap. Old Man River says, Rams will win the division next season. Listen, are we in the way too early win-loss predictions for next season? Because we saw that the New England Patriots have, the 5th or 6th hardest schedule in the NFL next season. I don't know what the Seahawks are. I don't know what the 49ers are. I don't. Matter of fact, I don't even know who they play next year yet. Schedule release comes out in March. Yes, we know who they play, but we don't know the schedule of games, and that matters to me a lot. When's your overseas games? When your bye week, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's talk about little overseas games, right? Let's talk about overseas games a little bit, because me and my boy Carson had this conversation last night, right? I was at basketball practice with my little man last night. That's why we did not have a live show last night. I was doing the whole basketball thing, doing the whole dad thing. Carson's texting me. I'm texting him back, and he's like, so what do you think about the international games? I was like, you know what, Carson, you know my thoughts about the international games. I hate overseas games. I hate that the 49ers and Rams are playing in Australia in the middle of the season for a division rival. Like, what? Why are we doing that? I said, slow down, baby. And then he's like, well, NFL makes a lot of money on national games, whatever. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. Slow it down, Carson. I said, slow it down, Pixie and Pundit, my man, my boy. I said, I hate international games. But obviously, I am a realist and understand that the international games are not going anywhere. I understand that the NFL makes millions upon millions upon $1 million on the overseas games, merchandising, all that stuff, right? TV deals, etc. What if we did this? There are 9 international games next season. We are sitting at a 17-game schedule season. That means half of the teams in the NFL will have 9 home games. Half of them will have 8. So this is how you make international games more fair, more competitive, more like a regular season game. I am all for having international games now. I hate it, but whatever. We just have to accept it. What if we did an international week? So like the week of Thanksgiving, we still had the Cowboys and we still had the Lions play Thanksgiving games at their home stadium. But then that weekend, that Sunday, we have it would be 7 other games overseas. So an international week. What do you guys think about that? Instead of spreading international games out throughout the season, have an international week, and then have a league-wide bye week so everybody can reacclimate, rest, whatever. Boom, go into the season. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we're in the home stretch. Now we have the whole month of December going into January. What do you guys think about that? Because obviously the international game is not going anywhere. We're going to have to do it. Electro Rich says, sorry, fellas, I'm late. Buddy, you are never late. You are here. That's all we can ask for. And John People says, but the skin on their teeth, Stafford's 10 times better than Sam Darnold. I agree. I agree. But what do you guys think about the international game? Should we have an international week? That's the real question. BP in the OR says, by the way, the stats I provided for Sam Darnold versus Mahomes was the regular season stats. Not Saban's fault Mahomes broke his twig. But to be fair, BP and OR, you are comparing apples to oranges, right? Now, obviously, Sam Darnold had a better year than Patrick Mahomes. No taking that from him whatsoever. But if you want a fair comparison, compare the first 13 games of Sam Darnold's year, Patrick Mahomes' first 13 games of the year. Then we'll see where they really stand. I mean, obviously, I think he would still have more touchdowns, still have more interceptions, still more yardage, but it'll be a little bit more comparable, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to do that. Average American Boy sent some more jewels. I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate those jewels. But guys, that's going to be it for today's show. They bite, swamp ass. What are you talking about? They bite, swamp ass. But guys, that's going to be it for tonight's show. I think I've riled up and pissed off enough people about Sam Darnold not repeating as Super Bowl champions. But guys, until then, no more Sweet Caroline. I got the old copyright strike for that last night. But let me clear my throat. We out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live.